Back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens. Welcome back to our channel, your ultimate source for the most explosive and exclusive daytime drama updates. Today is a thrilling day to dive deep into the treacherous waters of Genoa City, where corporate espionage and personal vendettas are about to collide in spectacular fashion. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let us unpack the shocking twists heading your way. No one expected this to happen, but the corporate landscape of Genoa City is about to be violently fractured by a psychological warfare campaign so insidious that it will leave viewers absolutely breathless. For weeks, the delicate balance of power at Chancellor Industries has been hanging by a thread, precariously held together by the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer, Kane Ashby. Kane has been desperately fighting to prove his worth, not just to the unforgiving business world, but to the woman who holds his heart, Lily Winters. However, lurking in the shadows is a threat that Kane never saw coming. Matt Clark, a man with a dark history and a newly minted, highly suspicious amnesia, has been quietly maneuvering himself into Kane's inner circle. What initially appeared to be a chance encounter between two men trying to rebuild their shattered lives is actually a meticulously crafted lethal trap designed by the most ruthless puppet master in town, the legendary Victor Newman. Victor Newman does not forgive, and he certainly never forgets. The Newman family patriarch has been harboring a toxic, burning resentment toward Kane Ashby ever since Kane's disastrous involvement in the temporary, humiliating loss of Newman Enterprises. Victor's thirst for vengeance is unquenchable, and he has found the perfect, disposable weapon in Matt Clark. Knowing that Matt is desperate to avoid a lengthy prison sentence and eager to prove his supposed redemption to the Newman family, Victor has issued a dark, non-negotiable mandate. Matt is to infiltrate Kane's professional and personal life, gather highly sensitive intelligence, and systematically dismantle Kane's reputation from the inside out. Victor knows that a direct assault on Chancellor Industries would draw too much unwanted attention, but a slow, psychological poisoning of its CEO will yield the catastrophic results he so deeply desires. Matt Clark's approach is a masterclass in manipulation and emotional exploitation. Stripped of his overtly violent tendencies by his alleged memory loss, Matt has adopted the persona of a humble, lost soul desperately seeking guidance in a complex world. He sidles up to Kane at the Genoa City Athletic Club and the Chancellor offices, playing the role of an empathetic, supportive friend. Matt is acutely aware of the heavy burdens Kane carries. He listens intently as Kane vents about the immense pressure of living up to the monumental legacy of Katherine Chancellor, the constant, suffocating scrutiny from a deeply hostile Devin Winters, and the overwhelming, desperate need to prove to Lily that he is no longer the deceitful grifter known as Aristotle Dumas. Matt absorbs every vulnerability, every hidden fear, and every lingering insecurity, weaponizing Kane's own emotions against him with terrifying precision. Kane Ashby's psychological state makes him the perfect, tragic victim for this kind of subtle sabotage. Despite his polished exterior and his expensive suits, Kane is a man constantly fighting the ghosts of his past mistakes. He knows that his reconciliation with Lily is built on a fragile foundation of newly restored trust, a foundation that could crumble at the slightest tremor. Kane is desperate for a massive, undeniable corporate victory, a triumph so spectacular that it will permanently silence his critics, force Devin to respect him, and prove to Lily that her faith in him was entirely justified. It is this blinding, desperate ambition that Matt Clark preys upon, wrapping his toxic intentions in the comforting disguise of well-intentioned camaraderie. The trap is sprung during a seemingly innocent strategy session. Playing the role of a visionary sounding board, Matt subtly introduces a bold, incredibly high-risk financial strategy to Kane. Matt does not push the idea aggressively. Instead, He frames it as a brilliant maneuver that only a truly fearless and innovative CEO could execute. He strokes Kane's fragile ego, whispering that this is the exact kind of aggressive expansion that will solidify Kane's legacy and leave rivals like Billy Abbott choking on his dust. Matt expertly pushes all the right psychological buttons, making Kane believe that this reckless gamble is actually a stroke of unparalleled corporate genius. Blinded by his own ambition and his desperate need for validation, Kane fails to see the fatal flaws hidden within the proposal. Driven by the intoxicating illusion of imminent success, Kane Ashby takes the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Bypassing the usual rigorous checks and balances, and ignoring the conservative protocols that have kept Chancellor Industries stable for decades, Kane unilaterally authorizes the disastrous financial maneuvers. He commits a massive portion of the company's liquid assets to highly volatile, incredibly risky investments, entirely convinced that he is about to deliver the greatest quarterly earnings report in the history of the company. Kane believes he is securing his future with Lilly, but in reality, he is signing his own professional death warrant, guided by the unseen, guiding hand of Victor Newman. The fallout from Kane's reckless decisions is immediate, brutal, and absolutely devastating. Within days, the market shifts, the volatile investments collapse, and Chancellor Industries is plunged into a severe, unprecedented financial crisis. The boardroom descends into sheer panic as millions of dollars seemingly evaporate into thin air. Stock prices plummet, investors demand immediate answers, and the pristine legacy of Katherine Chancellor is suddenly stained by the stench of catastrophic mismanagement. Kane is left scrambling, his confidence shattered, frantically trying to plug the massive holes in a sinking ship while the realization of his monumental failure begins to crush his spirit. It is amidst this corporate carnage that Lily Winter's sharp intuition begins to sound the alarm. Lily has survived enough betrayals and corporate warfare to recognize the subtle signs of a man unraveling under pressure. She watches Kane's erratic behavior, his sudden defensiveness, and his desperate, panicked attempts to hide the true extent of the financial bleeding. But more importantly, Lily notices the constant, lingering presence of Matt Clark. She sees the way Matt hovers around Kane, offering sympathetic smiles that don't quite reach his eyes. Lily's protective instincts, honed by years of defending her family's legacy, kick into overdrive. She begins to deeply question why this supposed amnesiac is suddenly Kane's closest confidant during the worst crisis of his career. The situation escalates dramatically when Holden Novak, Lily's newly discovered half-brother, enters the fray. Holden, who carries his own dark secrets from his time in Los Angeles, possesses a keen eye for recognizing dangerous individuals. While visiting the Chancellor offices to support Lily, Holden spots Matt Clark lurking in the corridors. However, Holden does not see the reformed, amnesiac Matt that the rest of Genoa City sees. Holden recognizes him as Mitch Bacall, an alias Matt used during his darker, more violent days in the criminal underworld. A chill runs down Holden's spine as he realizes that a highly dangerous, manipulative predator has embedded himself directly into his sister's life and business. Holden immediately pulls Lily aside, his voice laced with absolute urgency, and reveals the terrifying truth about the man calling himself Matt Clark. He warns Lily that Mitch Bacall is not a sympathetic friend, but a ruthless operator with a history of destroying everything he touches. This shocking revelation is the missing puzzle piece Lily needed. Suddenly, the catastrophic financial decisions, Kane's uncharacteristic recklessness, and Matt's constant, hovering presence all make sickening sense. Lily realizes with absolute horror that Kane has not just made a terrible business mistake. He has been expertly played, manipulated, and led to the slaughter by a man who is actively trying to destroy their family's empire. While Lily and Holden scramble to uncover the full extent of the sabotage, Victor Newman sits in his towering office at Newman Enterprises, watching the chaos unfold exactly as he had meticulously planned. Victor's cold, calculating eyes monitor the plummeting Chancellor's stock prices with deep, predatory satisfaction. The collapse of Cain Ashby is a symphony to Victor's ears, a brutal, poetic justice for the humiliation Cain previously inflicted upon the Newman family. Victor knows that Chancellor Industries is now bleeding out, vulnerable, and desperate for a savior. He has successfully used Matt Clark to break the fortress from the inside, and now the Newman patriarch is preparing to swoop in and claim his ultimate prize. Victor's final devastating move is to present himself not as an enemy, but as a savior. As Cain Ashby faces the absolute destruction of his career and the terrifying prospect of losing Lily forever, Victor steps out of the shadows with a lifeline. He offers to inject massive capital into Chancellor Industries, saving the company from total ruin and protecting the Winters family legacy. However, Victor's rescue comes with a lethal, soul-crushing condition. The price for Victor's financial intervention is Cain's immediate, unconditional resignation, his public admission of gross incompetence, and his permanent exile from the corporate world of Genoa City. Victor is forcing Cain to choose between destroying Lily's legacy or destroying himself. Cain Ashby is now trapped in an agonizing, impossible dilemma. The walls are closing in, and the air is growing incredibly thin. If he refuses Victor's offer, Chancellor Industries will collapse, Devon's hatred will be entirely justified, and Lily will never forgive him for destroying her family's life's work. But if he accepts the deal, he hands Victor the ultimate victory, sacrifices his own dignity, and proves to everyone that he was never truly capable of being the man Lily needed him to be. Cain is forced to look in the mirror and confront the agonizing reality that his desperate need for approval has cost him absolutely everything he holds dear. This explosive storyline leaves audiences on the edge of their seats.